Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Box Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Martin, and we're going to be talking about today 3 lessons that we learned in Texas. So I think they should definitely relate. So we're going to kind of go into it. So we just got back. We took the team. We went to Texas. There was a big event that they do every year. It's basically the Texas High School Coaches Conference. I think it's one of the biggest one, or if not the biggest one in the country. Like 33,000 high school coaches all across Texas gathered. In this particular situation, it was in San Antonio, so we went down there. But I want to go through 3 lessons that kind of stuck out with me that I just want to share, and maybe some of them will relate, and maybe all of them will relate. But let's just jump into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is lesson number 1: be persistent. Now, when I went to sign up to, bring us in and be part of the event, it was sold out. It was done. So, they put you on a waiting list. We went on a waiting list. I don't know how deep that was. That was probably maybe 10, 15, 20. It could have been 100 deep. But basically what I did was every week I would literally email them and I would say, hey, happy Monday. I just want to kind of see, where we're at. Are there any openings by chance? And I was very polite. And then, I would always get the, hey, sorry, no. And sometimes they wouldn't even say anything. But I would just do it every week. And then all of a sudden, one day, boom, they just, we were good to go. Now, I don't know if we were just, at the top of the list, maybe. Or maybe it was the persistence that actually said, hey, let's give this group a chance. So whatever it is that you're doing, you be persistent, right? Even if you're on the bench, even if you're on a waiting list, and be persistent in everything you do. And it always reminds me of a story, in the Bible where it talks about the neighbor that went next door. It was at midnight, and he had people coming, and he didn't have any bread, and he asked the neighbor for bread, and basically the neighbor was like, man, it's late, my kids are sleeping, go back to bed. But the Bible says because of his persistence, the neighbor gave him what he wants. So be persistent in everything that you do. That's number 1. Now number 2, have a plan, work the plan. So have a plan, work a plan. Now, I don't know if you've ever exhibited before, but if you ever exhibit, right, typically what happens is you have all different types of people exhibiting all different types of product. And then your target audience will come in. In this case, 3,000 college or high school coaches are coming in, and they're looking at what they want. They're just kind of walking, they're doing their deal. And what most exhibitors do is they just sit around. They just sit in the chair and they wait, and they hope that somebody will come, see their product, and say, hey, tell me more. Now, it doesn't normally happen that way at all, but that's what most of them do. So we had a different plan. We were going to be aggressive. We were going to be on the outside of the booth. We were going to talk, and we even had a raffle, right? So ultimately, when we talked to some of our neighbors, they're like, yeah, it wasn't bad. We had 30 leads. Yeah, we got 40 leads. Man, we walked away with 400 leads, right? So, I don't know. Maybe that was number 1. Maybe that was number 2. It's definitely on the podium. So, you got to have a plan. You got to work the plan, right? So that's a must in anything that you do. If you don't have a plan, you ain't going to be successful. So have a successful plan. Now, here's the deal. If you have a plan on day 1 and it didn't work, make an adjustment. But you got to have a plan. In this case, we had a plan. The team followed it to perfection. Everybody was amazing. And now we got a lot of leads. So now we can touch all of those 400 people and then ultimately see which ones are going to be a good fit and bring them in. So have a plan, work the plan. Finally, we're going to go to lesson number 3. This is a sad lesson. So we got an email yesterday. So one of the coaches that was there, she was a young girl, 25, 26 years old. She lost her life. So number 3 is going to be live ready. It's live ready. So I remember reading this yesterday. They sent an email blast out, and I think she was 25 years old. And the last day of the conference, she's out at nighttime with her friends, obviously, and they're having a good time. They're on the patio, eating food, maybe having a drink, minding their own business, and a stray bullet struck her, and she ended up passing. And think how, obviously, anyone losing their life, how horrible that is. But to be 25 years old, your life is just starting and you lose it. It's tragedy. It's tragedy. And I think of 2 things. One, that if that was me or if that's you, or, do you know where you're going to spend eternity? That would be number 1. Like, if God forbid something was to happen, do you know where you're going? If you don't know, or maybe you've never even heard, that, the options, reach out. We definitely love to share that with you. But that's number one. Like, are you ready? If something happened, God forbid, today, I know where I'm going. And number two, man, do you have any relationships right now that you need to mend? Maybe you got into it with a family member. Maybe you got into it with a really good friend. Maybe you just got to mend it. Maybe you haven't talked to your mom in a while. For whatever the case, I would tell you that, live every day like it's your last, right? So call them up, make amend, go visit, do the things you need to do. But life is short. Life is short. Sometimes we don't think that. We think that we're going to just be here forever, but that's not the case. That wasn't the case for that, young high school coach that tragically lost her life. So, hey, those are the three that we got for you today. Hopefully, you guys will think of them. Be persistent, have a plan, work the plan, and live every day like it's your last. Be ready. Until next week, I'm your host, Coach Martin. We will talk to you next time.